In this screencast, I'm going to talk to you about how to write a strong introduction for your analytical essay on a novel. As you know and we've discussed, there are 4 key ingredients that need to be a part of your introductory paragraph. You need a hook to capture the reader's attention. You need a title and an author to be acknowledged about whatever the book you read, who wrote it and what it's called. It needs to be in the intro. Some background information so that your reader, who may or may not have read your book already, has some context to understand your analysis. And finally, you end with your thesis. Let's start talking about a hook. There's 2 things you need to know about a hook. Number 1, it needs to be interesting. It needs to grab your reader's attention and make them want to keep reading. The second thing is that it has to be related to the topic of your overall essay. It can't just be some random interesting thing that has nothing to do with what the rest of your essay is about. If you're totally stuck and you can't think of a first sentence that is captivating and related to your topic, here are 3 things you could try. You could start with a quote. For example, if I was writing an essay on Elie Wiesel's memoir, Night, I might start like this. In his award-winning memoir, Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel says, "I am not so naive as to believe that this slim volume will change the course of history or shake the conscience of the world. Books no longer have the power they once did. Those who kept silent yesterday will remain silent tomorrow." That's a quote that's going to get you thinking, and it would be my responsibility to weave that into the purpose of my essay. Other than a quotation, another way you can start off and hook your reader is with a question. For example, in the book Milkweed that I've been doing my essay on, the main character witnesses several kids eating newspaper because they're starving. So if I started with the question, have you ever known hunger so severe that you would consider eating a newspaper? That should be pretty provocative and get people thinking. Other than a quotation and a question, you could also do a startling statement, a surprising fact, something that makes the reader want to keep reading to learn more. For example, I might start with the word Holocaust is from the Greek holo, meaning whole, and kaustos, meaning burnt. It refers to an animal sacrifice in which the entire animal is burned. From there, I would then need to lead into, weave that in, make a connection to this idea of where the word comes from and what was done in the Holocaust. Okay, so that's just some things to get you thinking for the hook, for ways to start, lead in, get related to your topic, but getting your reader interested. Next up, we have identifying the title and the author. I'm going to show you 3 different sentences that do this, from basic to better to most sophisticated. So my basic sentence, Jerry Spinelli is the author of Milkweed. It's a true story. He is the author of Milkweed, and that's the book I'm writing about, and he's the author of it. It's pretty basic, though. Let's see if we can do a little better. Milkweed, by Jerry Spinelli, is a novel set during the Holocaust. It's better because I give a little bit more information about the novel rather than just the title and the author, but I think I can do better. In his novel Milkweed, Jerry Spinelli invites us to experience the Holocaust through the eyes of a young boy who misunderstands everything except the love of family and the different forms it can take. This is far more sophisticated because not only am I identifying the title and the author, I'm actually weaving that directly into the beginning of my summary. You can do this. Strive to write like this. So after hook and title and author, we're going to talk about background information. You know you need to do a plot summary in about 4 to 5 sentences. Make sure that the information you're giving actually relates to the topic of your essay. There's a lot you could say about this book. You only want to say the things that your reader needs to understand in order to be able to process what you're saying in your essay. So here's what I've got for Milkweed. Misha is an orphan who is taken in by a group of young Jewish thieves. Simple-minded and ignorant of his own identity, Misha adopts the identity of those around him, first as a gypsy and then as a Jew when he follows the family of his friend Janina into the ghetto. Misha's inability to understand the true nature of the events around him forces the reader to focus on the simple acts of caring that take place amidst the suffering. These are actual photographs taken in the Warsaw Ghetto, just so you know. Through Misha's eyes, we witness the devastation of the Warsaw Ghetto, as well as the selfless acts of love and hope that persisted in spite of it. That's it for my summary. I hope you see that I kept it at a pretty general level. I didn't get into much specifics, but I gave you enough context to understand what this book is generally about, so the rest of my essay will make sense. All right, we've done hook, we've done title and author, and we've done background information. Let's move on to thesis. I hope you already watched my screencast on how to write a strong thesis, because I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to refresh your memory that your thesis has to state the purpose of your essay. You're going to spend your whole essay proving it. It's written as a fact, and it comes at the end of your intro. Here's my thesis. The best authors are those who create characters that readers can empathize with. In Milkweed, Spinelli uses several techniques masterfully to create empathy in his readers, including dramatic irony, revealing character emotions, and a unique choice of narrator. Now, what I want to show you is what this all looks like when you put it together. I'm going to zoom in so you can read it. This is my introductory paragraph for my essay on Milkweed. My hook, what happens to a boy who has no identity at a time when identity can be one's salvation or a mark for death? Then, everything else in this paragraph is directly from the précis I just gave you. It's directly from the précis that I just gave you. You can see if you go back, all I did was copy and paste all those pieces together. I want you to pause this video right now and I want you to read this introduction through from start to finish. I want you to feel how it flows and see what you are capable of creating. Raise your level of expectations. You can write like this. I broke it down for you step by step. Slow down, pause, go back and read it.